one to go, and oh, what a finale in store tonight. Good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope. Thanks for joining us this morning. Another special race day edition of Laptime Live, as tonight it's the final round of the third annual IMCA Winter Nationals. The best of the best from across the country competing in the IMCA Modifieds, the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, and in the IMCA Hobby Stocks. 3 nights of racing in the books, opening last night and, of course, last Friday and Saturday as well. We wrap it all up with grand finale action tonight. Round number 4 of the IMCA Winter Nationals tonight with racing at 7. Main gates open this afternoon at 4 at the Diamond in the Desert. Quick results from last night's race action at Cocopah Speedway. Osceola, Nebraska's Dylan Smith, driving the number 95, took his third straight Winter Nationals victory last night. Smith to the lead with an outside move on Gilbert Sim Ward in the 4TW with 4 laps to go, and then racing through lap traffic over the final 4 circuits to take the win. Ward came home second with Green River, Wyoming's Justin Yeager in the 33Y taking third. Joplin, Missouri, Scott Drake in the 12D. Tucson's R.C. Whitwell in the 96T, rounding out your top 5. A war of attrition in the IMCA Northern Sport Modifieds last night as 2 mid-race crashes took out several competitors. Surviving the carnage, Los Banos, California's Rick Diaz in the 16D was first to the line with Bakersfield's Nick Spainhoward in the number 40, and Tonganoxie, Kansas, Ben Cates in the 23K, rounding out your top 3 there. And a good one last night in the IMCA Hobby Stocks, where Minot, North Dakota's Brock Beater in the 48X got under. Yuma's Craig Ebers in the number 22 with just 3 laps to go, and motored off for the win from there. His third straight in Winter Nationals competition. Ebers held on for second with Minot, North Dakota's Andrew Sebastian in the number 45, taking third. And joining us in studio now, the man who took his third straight IMCA Modified feature last night at the Diamond in the Desert, Osceola, Nebraska's Dylan Smith. We're also joined this morning by Randy Hoeft with N2 Photographics and the Yuma Sun. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen. And Dylan, the first 2 nights of Winter Nationals action, you were able to get out front and do so early. Last night, though, a little more of a challenge, and oh, what a thriller.
Yeah, definitely. We had some pretty good draws. Started in the second row, both shows last weekend. Had to start in the 4th row last night, and got into 3rd, and was quite a ways back, but the 1st and 2nd place guys, they started racing each other pretty hard, and was able to catch up to them and kind of put a move on them towards the end, and it came on strong at the end and didn't have to mess with lap traffic too much, so it was a really good race. Exciting.
You're still finding more and more out of the race car as each feature has progressed over the 3 nights of racing so far?
Yeah, I keep having to make it have more sometimes, but it's a great car. Jet Racing, they build an awesome car, and my crew chief Goki and Lucas, they set it up great for me, and it does whatever I need it to most times, so I can't complain there.
The last few months have been off the charts, so to speak, for you. A Super Nationals victory in Boone, Iowa. Not so far back now, 3 straight wins in Cocopah Speedway action in the Winter Nationals. How does it feel to go through a hot period like that?
You just hope it don't end. But, I've been on them before, and sometimes in racing, everything's going your way or everything's going against you. So just try to ride it while it's going good, and at some point, it'll plateau and start coming back down, but just got to enjoy it when everything's going your way.
Hey, let's get Randy in on the conversation this morning. Some special stuff we watched last night, Randy.
We were talking before the show started that if you were there last night, you had to go home going, that was one heck of a race that I saw. It went flag to flag, and for a race that goes green to checker, and to watch this guy, I'm not trying to play up to him, but to watch this guy do what he did last night, he kind of played it down in his little segment here earlier. That was some masterful driving out there. That's all there is to it. I mean, he started the 4th row, and to get to the front, he had to go through the other guys that were in front of him, and then get there and just basically set the stage, get past Tim Ward. That was impressive. That was one of the most exciting shows I've seen in a long time at this track.
We track times through hot laps as everybody gets in their first practice sessions on the track, and, of course, times through the heats and the B features as well. Both Ward and Yeager were laying down really hot ones last night. You were right there with them, though.
Yeah, we've kind of been watching the lap times. It's a great deal what Cocopah Speedway does with having the live interactive, lap times and lineups and all that stuff, on their website and the app on your phone. So we kind of watch that, and we've always been right there towards the top on lap times, the last 3 shows. So that's kind of how you can tell after the heat races when you don't race against a certain person how you stack up against them for the features. So, yeah, the lap times have been good all last 3 days, and just hopefully we can continue that for tonight.
We will continue our conversation with Dylan Smith, driver of the number 95 IMCA Modified, and Randy Hoeft from N2 Photographics and the Yuma Sun in just a moment here on Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating.
The Blackwood Brothers are coming to Yuma. Go back to that legendary gospel greats, the Blackwood Brothers, live at Britton Farms, February 15th at 6 p.m. Come share a night of great gospel music with Grammy Award winners and one of Elvis Presley's favorites, the Blackwood Brothers, at Britton Farms Chuck Wagon and Steakhouse, 4330 Riverside Drive in Yuma. Tickets just $5, available at the door, cash only. The Blackwood Brothers, live at Britton Farms, February 15th, 6 p.m. Call 782-4699.
The Yuma agriculture industry, growing our community, growing what our bodies need, growing new culinary trends. Celebrate the industry with us at Yuma Lettuce Days, an agri-culinary festival, March 1st and 2nd at the Yuma Quartermaster Depot State Historic Park, featuring produce grown right in Yuma, ag tours, activities for kids, and celebrity chefs C.J. Jacobson and Lindy Cottle. Yuma Lettuce Days, brought to you by the Yuma Visitors Bureau.
And welcome back to Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. Again, joined in studio this morning by Dylan Smith, driver of the number 95 IMCA Modified and winner of 3 straight features in the IMCA Winter Nationals. Also, Randy Hoeft with N2 Photographics and the Yuma Sun. And Randy, coming back to you for a moment, we were talking about this over the past couple of days, but trying to put it in perspective a little bit, how hard it is to go 3 in a row and potentially, depending upon how things work out tonight, 4 in a row.
3 in a row against, and I'm not exaggerating. This is the best modified talent in the country is here with us. I hope people out there in Radio Land understand that. But to go against guys like Scott Drake and R.C. Whitwell and Tim Ward, Justin Yeager, I mean, it's a who's who. Ricky Thornton Jr., it's a who's who of modified guys. And to run off 3 straight wins against a field that has those guys in it, that just speaks volumes. I mean, it is a talent-laden, well, Jesse Sobbing, talent-laden lineup, and Dylan owns them. Sorry, but that's the way it is.
Well, you had to work for it last night, though, somewhat, as we talked about earlier on the show, Dylan. Running the crate motor package, can you tell us about that a little bit? And we hear the term momentum being used by a lot of drivers with respect to running that particular package.
Yeah, the crate motor. Jesse came out here last year, Yuma, and he really he put a clinic on with that crate motor. And when I got back home, I put one in, and I struggled with it for about a month. Just the lack of horsepower. You're dealing with about 200 less horsepower than with the open motors. So you have to definitely change your driving style. You have to, like you said, carry momentum, be on the throttle a little bit longer, a little bit earlier. But it took me about a month of following Jesse back home and kind of trying to do exactly what he did. And that brought me up to speed really fast. And I got to thank him for that. But just watching him, how he does everything, it kind of, I learned pretty quick how to run the crate. And it's definitely, it's a lot tougher for the more veteran drivers who are used to, they're kind of stuck in their ways on the open motors. But it's just something you gotta give it an honest shake and go after it and just adapt to it. And it has a lot to do with setup too, and how you set up your car for the crate motor. You have to set up a little freer, keep it turning, and but it's definitely, you can't. It just let us know with the open motors how much horsepower we didn't use, and it did cheapen up the ball game, so it's not a bad deal.
You talked about setup there for a moment, and certainly you had that working last night, high, low on the racetrack, basically wherever you wanted to go.
Yeah, I was able to, I think the high line was definitely the fastest way around the track, but I was able to pick out some cars on the bottom. You kind of had to be patient and take your time, take a couple more laps to get it done, but the car was really good, had a real good neutral setup. The car will drive anywhere on the track, you want it to go.
Final question, final word, Randy?
Were you worried at all coming down to the line that you were running out of laps to catch Tim?
I once I got in the third, and I just kind of had to hang out and watch them two, and then they started racing each other, and then I knew I had a chance as long as I could stay consistent. And I knew we were getting close on laps, but I wasn't for sure exactly how many laps were left, and it's better not to think about that, because when you start driving a different race, you want to stay consistent, and I just had to keep clicking off good laps so I could catch him, and was able to get up to him and have something for him at the end there.
Yeah, I don't mean to jinx you, but you're going for 4 straight tonight. What do you have to do? What in your mind do you have to do to make this 4 straight?
We'll definitely have a good heat race. I think the heat race is pretty key here. You have to make the redraw. There's so many good cars. You have to be able to take advantage of a good starting spot if you can get one. So I think the heat race is going to be a pretty big key tonight. So hopefully get a good draw for the heat, and if not, be able to move up in the heat to make the redraw for the feature.
What about track conditions?
I think it's going to be a little slicker than normal, and I'm not sure how many laps we're going tonight. I would assume a minimum 30 laps.
Big 3-0.
Big 3-0, just like last Saturday. So I'm sure that the track will probably be comparable to last Saturday, so maybe a little slicker. So I think it'll be racier in the heats, and it'll allow for some really good racing all night.
Want to wish the best to you tonight, Dylan. Thank you for stopping in on this busy race day to visit with us here on Laptime Live, and thank you, too, to Randy Hoeft with N2 Photographics and the Yuma Sun. Good day to both of you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mikey.
Yep, thanks.
All righty, coming up next here on Laptime Live, we're going to visit with one of the Yuma drivers who's factored in all 3 IMCA modified features so far in the Winter National. Strong runs for Yuma's Bobby Horton and his number 3 IMCA modified. We'll hear from him next here on Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating.
Food City announces an incredible 4-day sale. Starting this Friday, Valentine's Day through President's Day on Monday, you can take advantage of these savings.
Crisp iceberg lettuce, 3 heads for 99 cents. 73% lean ground beef, $1.99 a pound, sold in the value pack. Tecate or Modelo beer, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, just $8.99. And Food City is your Valentine's Day headquarters for cakes, balloons, chocolates, and flowers.
4 days of extra savings now through Monday, only at Food City.
Only here is Three-Fingered Jack. Come visit the Yuma Territorial Prison State Park and experience history come alive. I don't like you, this prison, or anyone in this prison. Open daily 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll never get out of this place here alive. It's so damn hot. They're waiting for you.
Welcome back to Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and visiting with us now, it is Bobby Horton, driver of the number 3 IMCA Modified. Welcome this morning, Bobby.
How's it going, Mike?
Hey, glad to have you on with us at long last, Bobby. And just starting off with the results from the first weekend of racing in the IMCA Winter Nationals. You were into the big show both nights, running middle of the pack. How would you assess your experience so far?
Oh, well, so far it's been good. My goal is just to make all the shows and not tear up equipment and just bring it home in one piece. And so far we're doing that. Hopefully I had some bugs with the car with the setup that I figured out this week. So I'm hoping we should be better this weekend, but my goal is still just to make the shows and go from there.
You were showing incremental improvement from the beginning of the season, kind of readjusting to the car, and as you noted, adjustments are starting to pay off in a big way.
Well, I'm used to running big motors and a lot of gear and everything. Now I'm running this crate deal, and it's a whole different way of setting up the car. It's more of a momentum racing, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to just hammering it down and going, so that's the biggest thing, is getting the car to where it feels good for me and getting this crate deal figured out.
As opposed to running in a Cocopah Racing Series event here at the Diamond in the Desert, what's the biggest challenge in a show like this where you have so many other drivers in from other parts of the country?
Well, they just have more experience than I got. They know what they do this stuff for a living, and I'm just a weekly racer. That's the biggest thing, is getting my car figured out compared to them. They know what they're doing. It's just there's a lot of cars here, and a lot of guys are trying to make the show, and it's just I don't really know how to explain it. It's just with this crate motor, I need more time.
Luck of the draw kind of comes into play a little bit too.
Yeah, last weekend I didn't really have a good field draw. I think I drew 98 one night and 50-something the other night. So hopefully this weekend I can get a better field draw and start up in front of the heat races and transfer through the heat races instead of the B mains.
Insofar as position on track, etc., close quarters racing, we've seen very little contact through the first races of the Winter Nationals. Got to be nice to be out there and come home at the end of the night without a bunch of torn up equipment.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's what's racing with all these big name guys. They do it for a living, so they're going to race you clean. You can give them respect and get respect back, which is nice. It's fun bringing my car home in one piece, and not having. All I did was this week was maintenance and cleaning it up and messing with the setup for this weekend. So hopefully it's a good weekend. We'll see what happens.
Talking about experience factor a little bit, and don't sell yourself short. We've seen what you're capable of on the oval here at Cocopah Speedway, and I know that you are a student of the lessons the track will teach.
Yeah, it's just this crate thing again. I keep going back to the crate thing. I gotta get to momentum racing and not hammering down. I'm good with my big motor and a lot of gear. I got that figured out. It's just now it's a whole new ball game for me. So I got a lot of stuff figured out next weekend. Last weekend I got a lot of stuff figured out. So this weekend we should be a lot better.
For race fans who perhaps are new to the sport here in the Yuma area, tell us about your origins, how you got into it in the first place.
Well, my dad's been around racing all of his life. Actually, how it all started is we used to help out a guy named Doug Peterson that raced there back in the day, and one night, Scott Jeffrey, him and Doug got into it on the track. Something happened with the wreck, and Doug's car was junk, and Scott let Doug borrow his car for the next race, and it led to there. And then I wasn't doing so good in school. I really don't want to admit that, but I wasn't doing so good in school, and my dad said that he'll get me a race car, if I can get good grades and all that stuff, and I keep my grades up. And between Doug, my dad, and Scott, we built the race car, and we started racing in the Imperial Valley, and just went from there. And we started in a factory stock and just worked my way up until now I'm in a modified.
Ambitions beyond the modifieds, or is this as good as it gets, or where do you go from here?
Well, this is as good as it's going to get for me for my program. I don't have the funding to run late models or anything else, and I spend too much time as it is on race cars as it is. My wife's already not happy about that, but I wouldn't be able to do this without her or my kids, and how much they put up with me at the shop and at the races and everything. They're a big going in my program too. But really, I just want to run maybe the Vegas next year and some more big shows out of town is really all I really plan on doing. But I'm pretty much A-Mod is going to be top of the deal for me.
You mentioned the family and the family support. No, there are a lot of other people who help make this all possible for you.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be possible without Miles, Morris Aguirre, Scott Jeffrey, Jeffrey Fabrication. He builds my motors. He has a shop where I keep my car at. He supplies me with everything I need. My wife, my kids, my dad, Shelby and his dad from Desert Document Shredders and Sun Graphics. Bill at the Garage Works. Who else do I got? Shucks Drilling, I think that's it. Deacon Dick and Dave Motorsports is pretty much what helps me out a lot.
One of the things I think has been kind of cool about watching you and Miles and Jeffrey Fabrication, all of you guys working together, is carrying on Deacon Dick's name too.
Oh yeah, I really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dick. That's how it really started. Is with Doug. Doug was racing with Dick, then Doug needed some help, and my mom worked with his mother-in-law, so we just started helping him, and we helped Dick, and then Dick gave me his stock car, which it's pretty amazing because how well known Dick is around here and how much of a person he is for this community. I don't know how to explain it, but it's nice having Deacon Dick on my car. It'll be on my car the rest of my life, and I'm happy to be running it for him.
means a lot to a lot of people. And, Bobby, we want to wish you best of luck in the action tonight.
Thanks, Mike.
And thank you once again, Bobby Horton, driver of the number 3 IMCA Modified, for visiting with us in the pits at Cocopah Speedway, one of the stars of the IMCA Modified, set for action tonight, the final round of racing in the 3rd annual IMCA Winter Nationals at the Diamond in the Desert. Hey, the Winter Nationals, just one of the many exciting happenings ongoing around the complex of facilities that includes the Speedway and Cocopah Casino. And here to tell us more about them this morning on the phone with Anna Corpus. Good morning to you, Anna.
Good morning, Speedway fans. It's a fun-filled day at Cocopah Casino. As we speak, the annual Dreams to Reality Lowrider and Custom Car Show is taking place. The casino lawn gates opened at 11, and the car show wraps up around 5 p.m. Admission is $5 per person, with proceeds benefiting the Special Olympics. Children under the age of 10 enter free. And later that night, the official after-party starts at 9 p.m. inside the Sunset Lounge. DJ Sosa will be spinning all your favorite old-school hits. They even have a booty-shaking contest. Now, if you're looking for a good laugh, stop by the River Room, because it's Comedy Night with the Comedy Machine, featuring the hilarious Greg Wilson, Haley Boyle, and Andy Kern. There are 2 shows scheduled for 7:30 and 9:30. Tickets are $10 general admission and $15 for VIP seating. And while you're there, don't forget to earn your Plinko points. Plinko drawings are every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday between 7 and 10 from now until March 1st, and there's a winner every hour. Across the parking lot at Wild River, watch the UFC action as Machida the Dragon battles Musasi. After the fight, the Rosecos take the stage and perform live. And there's always tons of events taking place at Cocopah Enterprises, so you can keep up to date by liking their Facebook pages. Have a great weekend, and good luck to all the racers out there.
Thank you very much, Anna. We will talk to you again next week. Information on all of those activities and more available at Cocopah.com, CocopahResort.com, and, of course, Speedway-specific information at www.CocopahSpeedway.com, and be sure to like us on Facebook. Hey, if you're checking out the Cocopah Speedway website, remember that option for online ticketing, an easy way to get into the racetrack. One final night of action tonight settles all. The Cocopah Speedway IMCA Winter Nationals final round of action, grand finale tonight, and we'll be looking to see you at the Diamond in the Desert Cocopah Speedway. Special event main gate opening time of 4 p.m. again, with racing action set for 7 o'clock. And remember, you can get those tickets online at CocopahSpeedway.com or at select Yuma area Napa Auto Parts stores and at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. Our thanks once again to Dylan Smith, Randy Hoeft, and Bobby Horton for joining us on the show this morning. You've been listening to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. We'll be back with more next Saturday morning, 11 a.m. here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.